Hey guys, Darwin and Jarell here, back for more episodes of Doc. We're on to episode 6, so we're getting close to the end. Right, a little bit of a recap. Adam has given the lowdown to his younger self as to exactly what they're trying to do here, and finally we got some more information as to what all this is about. He's literally trying to manipulate time, start everything from scratch. And he gave all the God speech about how everything's preset and predetermined, and the only way is going to be for him to figure out where all this starting point is. And he's mentioned, it was Jonas, wasn't it, that said it? I need to stop my father from killing myself. That's where all of this started. But the sacrifice is going to be, if he goes and does this, that if he does manage to convince his father not to, that he will cease to exist, and so will Adam, of course.
We discovered that Claudia is, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think she's responsible for everything that happened, because the accident that happened originally that gave them the Higgs boson particle from the previous power plant owner, he had that and he sat on it the entire time. Done nothing with it, squashed the data, everything else. And when she didn't let it go and he throws that file at her and he's like, look, this is what it is, do with it what you will, just keep me and my power plant out of it until at least my death.
Yeah, so it could be her.
The fact that all this has continued to happen still points to her, and the fact that the travelers they don't like Claudia, they see her as the enemy. I always thought it was a bit of an overreaction, but I'm starting to come around to their way of thinking that she is the one that's instigated a lot of this.
Possibly. And Ulrich, I feel so sorry for Ulrich, because from everybody else's point of view in the timeline that he's stuck in, he is somebody who murders and abducts children. That's it, that's all they see. And now he's finally broken out when he's gotten word that his son is here. And he went to go and try and not grab him, make him understand. We had the scene with him on realising it was his father. And I think they were heading back to the cave.
They were trying to get back to their time.
Try to get back. And he's got stopped again. So now he's all locked up in a straitjacket. Not sure he's ever going to get out of that situation again now. And he has pretty much threatened to Egon, this is your fault. And if you ever try to stop me again, I'm going to kill you. But we know his death is imminent the following day.
And I want to know if he is the one that instigates it or he doesn't. And the poor guy at the end of the episode gets to see the rest of his family, as far as he's concerned, just wandering around in 1986 as well. So, you know, he's ready to climb the walls and go postal on everyone that come. I feel sorry whichever guard tries to bring him breakfast.
This series has got to the point now where I don't try to work out what's coming next, because whatever comes next is never what I think it's going to be. Anyway, we're just going to carry on, get straight on with things. So sit back, relax. This is episode 6.
Wo haben die Dinge begonnen? In der Vergangenheit? In der Zukunft? Wer kann sagen, wo der Anfang liegt? Werden wir überhaupt jemals in der Lage sein zu wissen, was der Ursprung von allem ist? Oder gibt es immer noch einen davor? Davor?
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen, du Schlafmütze.
Nicht vergessen, Katharina und Ulrich machen heute ihre Party. Komm nicht wieder so spät zurück, okay?
Ja. Also, ich muss...
Course.
Yeah,
he knows.
Könnt ihr nicht einmal anklopfen?
Ich glaube, ich bin krank.
Wow.
Scheiße.
Ja.
Von allen Tagen musst du dir ausgerechnet heute aussuchen?
Sorry. It's measles, mumps, rubella, isn't it?
Ja.
Kommst du nachher?
That's you, my friend.
Ich glaube, dass es das Beste ist, wenn ich allein zu den Nielsens gehe.
Manchmal frage ich mich, ob meine Eltern eigentlich wirklich glücklich miteinander sind. Oder ob man sich einfach damit arrangiert, was man hat.
Ah, is that where the necklace comes from?
Was ist das?
Sieht
Now, why
ziemlich
would
alt aus.
that be there?
Das ist der heilige Christophorus.
That was right on top of the sand.
Yeah,
Das Heilige der Reisenden.
that was there for you patriotic travelers.
Hey Jonas, wolltet ihr nicht zum See? Martha und Magnus sind schon lange los.
Ultimate Fistbump?
Du, fass die kleine Pestbolle da hinten bloß nicht an, der hat die Röteln. Wo ist denn dein Fahrrad? Ulrich, bitte.
Wieso? Ist doch kein Geheimnis, dass Martha voll in den verschossen ist.
Hört auf.
Is that a body?
What the hell? It's naked, whatever it is. Jesus, woman.
Magnus?
She's not shy.
Du hast dich nicht bewegt und ich...
Yeah, I thought she was as well.
Ich dachte, du bist tot. Er hat gesagt, da ist jemand tot im See.
Alles noch lebendig. Würdest du nicht auch manchmal gern wissen wollen, was als nächstes passiert?
Of all things for her to say.
Manchmal auch einfach nur in den nächsten 5 Minuten.
She's gonna try and kiss you. She wants to know if you're gonna kiss her back.
Yep.
Manchmal so ein Gefühl. Als ob gleich was passiert.
There you are. Cop blocked by your brother.
Wir haben meiner Oma Ines so ein Tablet zum Geburtstag geschenkt. Und ich soll ihr jetzt beibringen, wie es funktioniert.
Okay.
He's so
Hast du eigentlich eine Regenjacke
simple.
There he is.
Like he
Weil
doesn't
ich
read it.
regnen soll.
No, he doesn't.
Can you do this?
Wolltest du nicht gehen?
Wie kann man Zeit haben, wenn sie eindeutig dich hat?
Oh.
Ist was passiert?
That was nicely timed.
Ich muss jetzt los.
Trying to remember that moment for what he's got to do ahead.
25 Jahre.
Ich muss pinkeln.
Du, mach doch einfach schnell einen Baum.
And he has remembered it as well.
This guy's really on edge.
Put the sweat on him.
Yeah.
Lola, ich bin's. Ich möchte, dass du etwas für mich herausfindest.
Hey Martha.
She's going to be weird with you now. She's going to kiss you.
Well, no, she's not going to be weird. He's going to think she's being weird.
Yeah.
Belinda Carlisle.
One of my favourite songs and all.
Unterm Tisch. Hier.
Wir sind so stolz auf dich.
Champagner!
Danke. Schön, dass du da bist. Schön, dass ihr alle da seid. Prost!
Hallo. Zum Wohl.
Bist du nicht eigentlich bei den Nielsens?
You're gonna hug him, aren't you?
Ich weiß es.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Was weißt du?
What you're planning to do.
Ich weiß alles. Ultimate Fistbump. Ich weiß, dass dein richtiger Name Mikkel Nielsen ist.
I got a horrible for you.
He's the reason this happens. Yep.
Ich hätte merken müssen, dass was ist.
Jonas, ich habe keine Ahnung.
Lüg mich nicht an, okay? Ich weiß es. Verdammte Scheiße.
I don't think he's
Ich weiß,
made
dass
the
du dich am
decision
Atelier
yet.
hängen wirst.
Told you.
Den Brief, den du an mich schreibst. Nicht an mich, an mein jüngeres Ich. Ich bin hier, damit du es nicht tust.
No.
Alles hängt zusammen.
Ich habe darüber nachgedacht, was du am See gesagt hast.
Über Omas?
No.
Bist du zurück zur Höhle? Wie hast du da die Passage gefunden?
Ich habe sie nicht gefunden. Jemand hat sie mir gezeigt. Du?
What? Oh, I think I've just worked it out.
Was ist denn das? Wir waren uns alle sicher, da ist jemand.
War da jemand?
Why did a different version of you put him in the past?
Dann habe ich dich verloren. Ich habe mich umgedreht und
And the other
du
one,
warst
if he
weg.
picked you up.
Aber dann warst du plötzlich wieder da.
Yeah.
Schnell.
Und dann hast du gesagt, wir müssen hier bleiben. Die ganze Nacht. Aber wenn es morgen ist, dann ist alles gut.
Aber das ist unmöglich. Ich habe das nie getan.
Yet.
Ich habe mich heute gesehen. Mikkel. Es kommt alles zurück.
Yeah.
Diese Jacke, du. Vielleicht bist du gar nicht hier, um mich aufzuhalten, sondern um mir überhaupt erst zu zeigen, was ich tun muss.
Wenn du dich nicht umbringst, wird nichts von alledem passieren.
Oh, come on.
Er hat dich angelogen. Er hat dich exakt hierhin geführt, um genau alles wieder so aufzulösen, wie es immer passiert ist.
Nein, das kann nicht sein. Adam will das auch.
Nein, das will er nicht. Nur du allein kannst all dem ein Ende setzen.
Was soll das heißen?
Wir sind in einem Krieg und du musst ihn gegen dich selber führen. Ich habe die Welt ohne dich gesehen. Glaub mir. Sie ist nicht das, was du erwartest. Wir alle müssen Opfer bringen. Auch dein Vater muss Opfer bringen.
Ist das jetzt die Apokalypse?
You've no idea.
Now you're gonna run into the shed or whatever, and
She's upstairs with your sick son. Classy.
I'm running through.
Oh, your daughter saw ya. Now you gotta write the letter.
He's just
Lieber Jonas,
accepted it.
wenn du das liest, ist alles bereits unwiederbringlich geschehen. Wir machen eine Lüge zu unserer Wahrheit, um zu überleben. Versuchen zu vergessen, bis es nicht mehr geht. Wir sind Wanderer in der Dunkelheit.
Du hättest ihm sagen können, was seine Aufgabe in all dem ist. Auf welchen Weg du ihn wirklich schickst.
Wir alle müssen Opfer bringen, Magnus.
Magnus?
What?
Is that Martha?
No. Okay, that was episode 6, and yet more confusion and more answers, but I really enjoyed that episode because we got to see that day.
Yeah.
Before all of this was introduced to us. I'm not going to say before it all began because you know what I mean. But we got to see the whole day and how it played out up to the point of his father supposedly taking his life. And I thought I'd worked it out, that it was you was always been here.
You have. I agree with you on that interpretation.
Yeah, that part is right. He has caused the loop himself by being here. He just didn't know as the younger version of him because he was out with her that night at the party that an older version of him from the future was there to tell his dad not to kill himself, and that in itself is what instigates it, especially when Claudia turns up. What I don't get is what Claudia said.
Yeah, well, I knew that the reason I believe your version of events is because it was cemented when Martha and Jonas of 2019 get it on that summer, because they, you know, from where he leaves it from his perspective, the 2019 Jonas, he goes, I've got to go help my grandma with my tablet, and then he turns up to a party and what the hell happened? Which is only because older Jonas
has done what he did.
Came along, kissed her, and cemented that. So I agree with your theory. This has always happened. Yeah. You were always here. Everything that you did today has already happened before.
Correct. So at that point, then Claudia turns up and says what she's been going on about before, about Adam's on the dark side and she's on the light side. And his father then informs us that in that cave that night, when we heard something, that there was someone there when they were in the storm. As they run away and he falls, Jonas runs off in that direction, and this Jonas comes up behind him and keeps him in the cave all night. So it must be a later event that Claudia tells him to do that.
Yeah, well,
because for him it hasn't happened yet, because he said, I never did that.
Yeah, as we know from the messenger, the middle-aged Jonas.
Yes, yeah.
When he says, I've worked with Claudia all these years and she lied to me.
That's right.
So obviously she is the one that goes and says, look, you have to take him to set this, or if you don't, you won't exist, which is probably a pretty compelling argument at the time.
The problem I have is, if she does that, and he does what he does, and Mikkel ends up back where he is for him to be born, Claudia is kind of doing the same thing as what Adam has done. So how is one on one side and one on the other side? There doesn't seem to be a clear differentiation as to what he's trying to accomplish and what she's trying to accomplish, because they both are making sure that Jonas survives. She's explained the world is awful without you. You are far more tied into this than you think.
Yeah.
But she's still having him do the same things that Adam's had him do. So they're both lying to him.
Well, I think...
So how this guy is ever going to figure out what his role in this is and what he should and shouldn't be doing, I don't know.
I think both of them are trying to use this God particle for their own advantage.
For their own way.
I think Claudia is the one that starts it all off. Well, she is. She's the one that makes the time machine and everything else.
Yeah.
She's got her own gains. You can see her when we see her in the 80s, and she finds that God particle thrown at her, and she's like, this can revolutionize everything. She's already 80s
thinking
mentality, 80s greed, where we can exploit this, we can make this, we can bring this to the world. So she's already on that side of the fence. I think Adam, after spending years working with her, is like, well, you know what, I can do that as well. I don't think there's a clear light or dark in this situation. I think both of them want it for their own gains. I just don't think they can use it the way they want, because it's locked into this sort of program that keeps running over and over and over again. I
think the only thing I can be clear on for sure here is old Jonas, Adam, whatever you want to call him, has been through all that he's been through, and he said in the last episode it's taken me 66 years to figure half of this out, that he wants to be able to create an entire new way of time. He said so himself, and that is why he's made sure, of course, of his own existence, and younger Jonas and him doing everything that he needs to do. But we've just got at the end there now, that
madness,
revelation of madness, and like you say, is that Marta? Is
that Marta? And
I don't know.
This is them back in the 20s, so he's brought them back to the 20s as older versions of themselves. Yeah, it's complicated.
I have a feeling I can probably, when we're finished all this series, I could probably go through this at least another twice, and I'm sure a lot of you have done this, and still have a ton of damn questions. But I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. It keeps you glued to the screen every second. You don't want to miss. It's hard to do this reaction because you don't want to miss a piece of dialogue in case it's pivotal, because there's so much in this that is pivotal. And in the end, it's turned out to our advantage that we are actually watching the German version. At least if you talk, you can read at the same time.
Yeah.
You don't hear what's being said.
Yeah.
So it actually turns out an advantage. It's just a pain in the backside to edit it for YouTube. That's all. That takes hours on end. So appreciate it. Right. So the next episode is going to be episode 7. If you're wondering what we're doing with Dark Guys, I have posted an update on the YouTube community tab, and I've also posted an update in Discord where we're pushing out 2 episodes this week to catch up.
Yes.
The episode next week will be as normal and the one after it, but as we start season 3, that will end up being in front on Patreon on a tier for VIPs so they can get pre-releases early. So if you want that, you can always head over to Patreon, links in the description, and you can find out the information there. But that's only if you're interested in it. Ulrich, what he's done there, like I say, on his anniversary, it's bad, but boys, he paid for it. Boy, has this man, you know when they say you sow what you reap, this man is paying for 2/3 of the rest of his life for the mistakes that he's made.
Yeah.
By God, has he. We didn't get anything of Egon or anything in that. I'm waiting. I'm hoping the next episode, now it's just shown us that day that we didn't have, that it takes us to the day of the apocalypse. Yeah. Which is June 27th.
Yeah, I hope so.
Which is the following day. So I'm hoping that's where the next episode
next
starts.
week, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. Right, guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I mentioned earlier, full version of it will be available over on Patreon. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe, turn your notifications on. And if you enjoyed the video, leave your comments down below. Give it a thumbs up. So until then, we will see you for episode 7 next week. Take care, guys. Bye.